Welcome to Season 3, Episode 18 of the Your Money Personal Finance Podcast. Today's the end. It's all over, guys.
Oh.
I'm so sad. I have Vitri on my left, associate advisor, also a mortgage broker who runs Everything Financial Mortgage Group. On my right, Shannon Allison, CEO, Squirrel, chief cook and bottle washer. She really runs the company. Squirrel's an inside joke, she knows. Who you saw on episode 17 when we talked about our estate directory. And the feedback was so good and she was such a hit. People want to see more and more of Shannon. I don't really know what that means.
I don't know either. It has me a little nervous.
Yeah, it does. Well, hey, a side job. Anyway, so what we're going to do today is just wrap up the season where we talked about the Omni Formula and all the different steps that going into creating a financial plan to get you to the end result, which is the personal financial organizer, which basically takes everything you've done, wraps it up in a nice little tidy bow, which is really a blue binder. So it's not really a tidy bow, as you see the blue binder on your screen now.
We can put a bow on it.
You can put a bow on it if we want. We could do that, actually. What color bow would we use?
Not blue.
Our podcast, we can ramble on as much as we want. So yeah, so we're going to go through this and just talk about the things. So when we started out this year, guys, and Vitri, Shannon, jump in whenever you want here so I can shut up, which would be nice, I know, Shannon. The first thing we talked about this year in the earliest episodes was looking for an advisor. It's teaching people to ask the questions they didn't even know they were supposed to ask. So what are kind of we hear from people coming in, some of the pitfalls, or just give us one little piece of advice you would give someone when looking for a financial planner instead of maybe a salesperson?
Well, the first thing you want to look at when you're interviewing these people is what are the first things they're saying. If their first thing is, here's a list of all the rates of return I've gotten my clients, run away, because they're only concerned about selling your product. Anyone can pull up good numbers from the past. There's no guarantee that you're going to get that in the future, right? So if that's where they're starting, run.
Anything to add? Nope.
No, not on that one. No.
So you've let's say you've gone through, and again, go through all the past episodes on YouTube. Have a look at our Everything Financial Group channel, and you can see these steps and we break them down. But
actually, I will say one thing: if you're dealing
just
with
one,
well, maybe. If you think you have a financial advisor and you are calling to make an appointment, and your financial advisor is no longer there, and they've assigned someone new to you that you don't know, and you haven't heard from them and they haven't called you up and done anything proactive, then you probably should be looking for a new advisor. That's
right, because you probably don't have an advisor.
No.
You're probably in the
queue.
The queue at the bank system where what's the next thing you need to buy? And no continuity. Yeah. Like, that's a good point. We never talked about that this year, but you're right. With Everything Financial Group, and we may have alluded to this in one of the previous 17, 18 episodes, but people don't deal with just me, or they don't deal with just Vitri or Derek or Brian or Trevor, any of our advisors, they're associate advisors. We're all involved in creating a plan. So they could do one meeting with me, next meeting with Vitri.
Yep.
They could come in and talk about their estate part with Shannon. Like it really does. And that's the continuity that protects, because it's about the plan.
Yes.
Not the product, because there isn't one product.
Right. And you're not starting over each time you meet with a different advisor. We are all involved as a team. You'll see that like when we do communications, a lot of people are CC'd on them, and we all are able to, within minutes, be able to pull up and see exactly what's going on, where everything's at, who you spoke to last, what your last meeting notes were. So at any point, if someone is not available and someone else is, they can pick up where the other person left off, and you're never waiting around for that one person who's the only person that knows what's going on.
Yeah, perfect. Great way to think, because people wonder, but that's the same thing. What if, God, we haven't seen this in the last 3 years. What if someone got sick? Mm-hmm. What if somene's off? Are you supposed to, as a client, then all of a sudden your plan is toast, and you're what do you do now?
Yeah, or you're waiting, or you're, that person's on vacation for a week or two, well deserved, right? But you can't reach that person. Well, somebody else can step in and help.
Perfect.
So,
yeah. One of the first thing, go back to one of the earlier episodes, and this is probably one of the most important things. We have a saying at Everything Financial, but everyone has this saying out there: garbage in, garbage out. So in one of the earlier episodes, we talked about gathering of the information so we can get everything accurate when creating your plan. What are some things? I know you have to reach out to clients, Shannon. What are some of the key things when gathering that information?
Well, when you decide to move forward with Everything Financial, we give you a checklist of the items that we need. We give you a questionnaire so we can find out your personal information and basics about your finances, but we also have a checklist. And that checklist is concise for a reason, because we need all of that information in order to build your financial plan. If we're missing information, then we can't create where you are now. What is your financial snapshot at this moment, where you're starting from? If we're missing income, if we're missing your, what your CPP would be at retirement at this point, if we're missing mortgage documents, loans, investments, all of that is critical to be able to build that base plan that we're going to then build or grow from and develop your recommended plan to see that you can get to retirement. And when you say garbage in, if you don't give us everything that we need, we're not seeing the full picture of where you are. And if we don't see the full picture, we don't have accurate information, and you cannot continue on to a recommended plan with inaccurate information, because what you're going to get is garbage. It's not accurate, it's not real, and it means nothing. Might as well just crumple it up and throw it away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you have some vices, there's places to put that in the cash flow worksheet, right? So if I have a Scotch habit, I would just put that under groceries. And
that's
no
Brian
one
in
can
our
tell.
office, actually.
Yeah.
He's not an alcoholic, people. He just, when we go out on little events, he just doesn't mind a little taste of Scotch to wrap up the night.
Yeah.
He's a connoisseur of Scotch.
My wife has a skip the dishes habit, so we just throw that under restaurants, and you get your vices in there. But
You just said because Lisa can't cook. Oh, wait a minute. We should edit that out. I just threw Vijay. He never said that.
Did not
he
say
never
that.
said that. I mean, does he look like he's missed a meal? No.
Well, if my husband didn't cook, we'd live on toast and cereal. He knows that, and I'd weigh a lot less.
That's true. Do you remember an earlier episode, we're in Cooking Now, we had Janice Sowden, one of our portfolio managers. We use lots of different portfolio managers. People, that woman, I was told from her kids, cannot cook. She burns hot dogs. Anyways, enough about the cooking episode. This is now the Everything Financial Cooking Channel. So we go through a plan. The whole point of the initial plan is really just to give you a picture of exactly what your situation is right now.
Yeah, well,
and where do you go from here?
We use that analogy, right? We're like that GPS in your car or on your phone. And the key with the GPS is, where are you now? Where's your starting point? We need to locate you on the map first before we can build you a path to your destination.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know where they're starting from.
That's their biggest fear too, isn't it?
But they don't want to look at their budget. They don't want to look at their ins and outs of their their money, the expenses that they're paying out, and they're blind to the fact that maybe they are spending more than they're bringing in, or maybe they do have that extra cash flow that they can utilize elsewhere that's more beneficial for their plan. And it's a real wake-up call for people, because it's now you've got to put it all out on the table and you've got to itemize it all down. And if you don't know where you are, where do you go from there?
But I found, I've been doing this a long time, but one of the things we take pride in the most with the Omni Formula is, good, bad, or otherwise, wherever their situation is, once people see that in the creation of the plan, their stress level you can see it, right? It just goes way down, because look at it this way, people. If your situation sucks and you're really a long way from where you want to be, but you know where you are, so then we can put the strategies in place. And that's the next part of what we do, is put strategies in place. Oh, that was a segue and I didn't even intend it. But into going to a recommended plan. If your situation, so if it sucks, it doesn't suck, really. You think it does, but then you just figure out what you need to do next.
Yep.
And if the situation is really good, well, then you really can say, oh, maybe I have more money I can spend on some fun things I didn't realize I could afford. Yep. Either way, you're well underway to knowing where you need to be.
Yeah, and the unknown is scary. And one thing that I've actually told my kids is that, like, they'll say, well, I don't spend that much every month, but yet they seem to run out of money real fast. And I'll say, well, when you're going through the drive-through and you're spending money here and there, $10, $20, it adds up. So you think, well, I'm not ever spending money, because you're not spending hundreds of dollars, but over time, all those little bits of money that's flying out the window, you find out where that money disappears to, and then now you know, and now you can make changes. Yeah,
you're right. I mean, we see it, and that's one of the things with the cash flow, right, Vitri? One of our most important items when we get the initial plan done, we have this section that shows, and it's a question that shows how much surplus money you have. And we'll get stuck on that part of the plan many times until we get the client agreeing on what that situation is, right? Because that's the best way, is the cash flow.
Oh, absolutely. We have lots of times where they've done all the cash flow, we've done all the math, and it shows they should have an extra $3,000 a month.
And they go paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, and they look at each other and go, are you spending that, or where's it going?
Yeah, so people, that may happen. That's not a bad thing. No. That's how you get to the bottom of it and build a good plan, is figuring out all those little changes and little things and finding where the money is spent. And I mean, we do, as part of the financial plan, we didn't do an episode this year about this. We could have. It would have been called, free plug for him, the Dr. Phil episode, right? We have that when we're doing the plans.
Sometimes we're psychologists.
Mm-hmm. We are. And you do need that psychological part where we don't mean to be, but we do have to referee. So, yeah, sometimes people find one is spending more than the other than they realize. But if you want to get ahead, you got to kind of figure out where it's all going.
Well, knowledge is power. Like, if you don't know, you don't know. Like,
exactly.
Yeah. Well, I remember one client we were working with. We did all the numbers. They were clearly going backwards each month, but to see it in black and white, our recommendation was declare bankruptcy. Like, you're going nowhere fast. Like, this is really bad. Your debt is so up here. You're never going to pay that off.
Yeah, that's why we've got that other episode we did with Blair Man, and it's not part of our season, people, but it's there online for you to look at, from Sands and Associates, about bankruptcy or consumer proposal, because we're not a sales organization. We're not trying to pitch you a product you don't need. If we truly can't do anything, and that's what we discovered through all these steps we've talked about this season about the Omni Formula, if we see we can't help, and then we'll recommend you to an outside source like Blair and his team to see what they can do for you, because we're not just trying to sell you.
No.
Buy more RSPs and put yourself in more trouble. And that's what you get.
Well, that was
other institutions.
With your example, when you were saying, did we able to determine where that extra money was going and create a plan for
it was a lot of lifestyle choices they made. They just felt, because he made a lot of money, they felt like they could spend a lot. Right. So when they saw the numbers in black and white and our recommendation to go see Blair, they actually made the conscious decision to stop spending. They cut out a lot of things. They made some massive lifestyle changes.
Oh yeah, they didn't have to file.
They didn't have to file.
We went through and we put a plan together.
Debt repayment plan.
Yeah, didn't we do about 2 to 3 year plan of basically eliminating debt?
Yep.
And it was, but they owned it. They did.
Yes.
I remember that. Yeah, they owned it and said, okay, we've got to change this, and we can do that.
And then you recommend what to pay down first. What is the plan, right? The strategy for how to pay down that debt. Don't throw the money at the lower interest rate debt. Throw it at the higher one first to get that down, right? Like, so we can still help.
Higher interest rate debt, but also it's also it's a psychological thing too when you're doing that. If you see something removed off the balance sheet, like something really negative and big, then you've got so much more monthly disposable income to put towards something else. And it makes a huge difference. So we've gone through, we do the initial plan. We've talked about that. We go through then and we find it as part of our process, all the different strategies to then get you through the recommended plan, or in your GPS, the next step, like your destination, right? And that's the recommended plan.
Yep.
That's it. That's all you're adding is yep.
What was the question?
Yeah, no, but that's how we do, is all these different strategies. Now,
and that'll include tax strategies, insurance, right?
Yeah.
Debt consolidation or paying down debt, saving, retirement savings.
Yeah, there's so many different things.
One of the biggest things we do is the tax planning that no one else actually does, because you don't actually get paid for tax planning. The client sees a huge benefit, but as advisors, I mean, most people don't do it because there's no product attached to it that they can sell to do better tax planning for
That's
their
true.
clients.
That's what we do for the fee, right?
Yeah, we're collecting on average roughly a 1% fee roughly on planning. So yeah, there's
I think
for that fee we got to do something.
Exactly, but I think that it's also important for people to understand that not all of our clients have. I mean, most of them have some type of investment or something, but a lot of the ones that start, or some of the ones that start with us, have nothing. But the idea is to get them there where they do have investments. So, in that case, we're not getting a 1% until they have investments. But the thing is that we're investing in them.
That's right.
We're showing them that everyone deserves a financial plan, and we're going to help them get there. So there's no immediate.
Well, people aren't going to believe this because people are skeptical. I get it, people. I understand that. But it costs a fair bit of money with time, staff, overhead. Oh, yeah. The amount of hours that go into a plan are insane. And a lot of clients, because with our Omni Formula, we said this, we won't refuse people. Everyone we believe in, it's my kind of mission, if you will, when I started this years ago, that everyone deserves a well thought out, great financial plan. I mean, that's what I've lived for. And we may not even break even for 4 or 5 years, sometimes on a plan, because we don't bill the person. We're not saying, write us a check. We're going to do a financial plan for you. We believe that kind of stuff is earned, not assumed, right? And that's the kind of the way we.
And we're building a long-term relationship. This isn't a one-time in-out, here's your plan, goodbye, you'll never see us again, you'll only hear from us if we need something from you. We're always available. They're like family. We've got people that call us and they just want to, hi, how you doing?
Oh, I know.
and just, like we're still here, right? Like we reach out to them. We're very proactive and we're building a relationship for life.
Segue. We've completed the recommended plan. It doesn't go in a drawer.
No.
How it should be reviewed. How often?
Minimum annually.
Yeah.
So at a minimum. At a minimum.
And then every time something changes in life, like some sort of big event or
a major financial change.
Yeah, we have lots of clients this year where we've just done the review and then 3 weeks later, I want to refinance so I can buy my kids their first house.
Yeah, don't do that, people. No. Someone asked me the other day, I think we were talking about it. We were talking about it on CTV and about speculation type investing. And someone said to me, well, I want to do this. I want to invest in that. I want to buy this stock. I want to buy this. I want to buy that. Okay, that's great. You want to do that. But I explain to people, do that after your base plan is done and then figure out what's your fun money, your play money that you can have. Do that afterwards. And that we do just do that in a plan. We're not about give it all to us. We want all the money. No, we want you to spend money. Wait a minute. What have I been saying wait a minute. Your money. And that's how the thing was born, though. It was out of me saying for years, it's your money. You should get to spend it. Yeah. Our job isn't to tell you, and sidebar, you're hitting a salesperson if they start telling you, you can't spend on this, you can't spend on that, you can't do this, you can't do that. It's your money. You can do whatever the heck you want with it. Our job is to say, if you do this, or if you do that, your job. If you buy this mortgage, could you run our mortgage company? This is what kind of those consequences could be, fees, et cetera, et cetera. If you just buy these mutual funds, that's all you're doing is buying a bunch of mutual funds, but you have to know the fees. So our job is part of the plan, and that's part of where the strategies come in, right, is what will happen potentially if you do this, this, or this. Yeah,
well, we make the recommendations, and then in the end, like you said, it's your money.
Yeah.
But that's also what the great thing is about the Omni Formula and the GPS analogy that we use is that if you decide to go ahead and whether it's something that we recommended or not, you're doing it, it changes your plan. We now need to redirect and okay, you're doing this, it's happening. So how are we going to still get you to your goal, right?
Exactly. And Shannon said too, we review the plan just to differentiate for people. Going through your RSPs and your investment statements like those other institutions do, That's not reviewing a plan. But we will review your plan, but we also will give you quarterly, semi-annual, depending what the person really wants. But we'll give you reviews on the investment part of your plan. You don't always need to rewrite the entire plan, but you have to review the investment part being a big part to see if you're on track. Just like you would review your pension at your company to, if they make a change to your pension plan, you want to review where the money's going, what's going on, like.
Yeah, I think a lot of people like to know, am I still on track? Right? Like stuff's happened this year, XYZ has happened. Am I still on track?
And that's why it's a GPS. It's that thing in the car when you turn left instead of right, turn right here. Make U-turn. Well, you can't really make a U-turn sometimes, but it tells you to. That's us, though.
Yep.
Is you're off the rails. Let's get you back on track, because that's why we do the reviews. It's a lot easier to make adjustments if you do them every year, because you wait 5 years, man, you're never getting back on track.
Way off the rails.
You're way off the rails.
That GPS has got you going in circles somewhere.
Yeah. Start a new plan. You're starting over. Rip it up, start over if you've gone that far off track.
Yeah.
We've done a couple of those.
We have had a few where it's like, okay, and we're starting over. Yeah. But that's all right. You're still doing it. You're still making a plan. It's better than not doing anything at all.
Yeah. And at the end of it, people, crime in Vancouver, hey, this is live. No, what you have too at the end of this is, and we have it up on the screen here for you, the personal financial organizer, which gives you our mission statement, our letter of engagement, what we promise to do for you. You can see in here all the information you've provided to us to create the plan, so you can go back and review what's changed. Then in here you get your plan. You get all your information about your investments. When we talked, I said, all those different portfolio managers that came in when we had the Meet the Manager segment. So their information is in your financial plan, or in your, personal financial organizer. Everything to do with your different insurances, your life, disability, critical illness, employee benefits. That's all in your financial plan. Anything to do with your employee benefits is in the organizer, because that's a key thing. What I've got, pension, health, dental, etc. And then we wrap it all up with a copy and a recommendation to get a will done. We talked to Bart Aldrich earlier this year about the importance of a will.
Bart's really good.
Yeah, he is. Power of attorney, representation agreement.
Living will.
Oh, advanced medical directive. There's the new one I learned this year. We talked to him about. And then it's all wrapped up at the end with the estate directory.
Yes. And what we do too is when we do insurance for clients, we send them out in a special sleeve, which allows them to put it into their binder, because I can't tell you how many people that I do insurance for who don't know where their policy booklets are. So, you receive your booklet, it's got all the information in it, they put it somewhere and they don't remember where it is. I mean, I think people sometimes throw them out too, but it's very important. We don't get a copy of that full booklet. We only get a copy of the summary. So when we mail it out to them, once it's approved, put it in that binder and you'll never lose it.
And that's why, isn't it? We put together the personal financial organizer. It's a way to have everything. We are at Everything Financial, truly. We've talked about it all year. We are truly, though, a one-stop shop. We've got everything there in one place, one binder. Everything you get in the mail, etc. It's one place to keep it all updated. And then what you do, you make sure you come in for a meeting, you bring everything in.
Bring the binder.
Bring the binder. Bring the binder. It is, as you see, it's called Personal Financial Organizer, AKA the binder. And I mean, I've been doing the binder since, mid 90s, and it's developed. It does look a lot nicer now than it used to in years ago, but it's no different, really. I mean, like you talked about, Shannon, in episode 17 about the estate directory. Yeah, now in the estate directory, we have passwords for social media and all that stuff that we didn't have 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But
access to every account online, like your Shaw, like all your utilities, everything is online now.
Yeah.
You can't even get in touch with someone on the phone that easily. They want to do chatbots online.
Oh, they can with us. We actually have real people who answer the phone in our office.
Oh, yeah. Oh, in our office, yes. I'm talking about those services.
I know, but that's just it. That's how far we've come with our plan. The thing is, when I established the predecessor of the Omni Formula years ago in the 90s, and I look back at it, it's really no different. I mean, our reports look a little different from computers. There's a little more information there, but simpler to understand a lot of it. But the Omni Formula is no different today than it was really in the 90s. It's still in the end.
It's a tried, tested, and true formula of how to build someone's plan and get them from point A to point B.
Yeah, you've always had that.
Yeah.
You've always had that. It's just that now technology and programs and things have allowed us to make it even more informational and concise.
And as we tell people, and we do live this and breathe this, it is your money. That's the key.
Yeah.
I mean, no one ever should tell you what you can and can't spend money on.
Exactly. Like that's the feedback I've gotten from clients is, oh, I can do this. You will let me do this. And our response is, it's always your money. Let us show you what would happen if you did these things, and then you make the decision.
Yeah.
I know that's what Janice Sowden from Connor Clark and Lunn always says to people. She says, you guys are the only people I know who encourage people to spend money. Well, you can't take it with you.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole point of working hard is to have money to spend. And the other point is us showing you how to enjoy life. Like if 2020, there was something out there in the world, I don't even know what it was, but those things showed us the importance of when you can get out, enjoy yourselves, because you don't know when it can be taken away.
Yeah. And I think the other thing too is that some people are afraid to spend their money until they retire, and then they don't enjoy themselves in their 40s, 50s, and 60s while they are still working, but they're just so focused on making sure that they have that money for retirement. And then, we don't get any younger. Things get a little bit more difficult to do.
I'm looking younger every day. It's amazing what TV and makeup can do.
Yeah. But you still want to enjoy life while you're doing everything, right? Like doing the saving and doing the...
I had a call with a client of mine, reminds me the other day before we wrap this up. It's kind of interesting. And I was taught, they've gone through some financial issues in the last year. They were building and renovating a house, whatever. But when I met them, actually in Wisconsin. Their clients are American clients of mine. She's a surgeon and makes really good money. But they had a financial person who was telling them they couldn't spend this, that, and flat out. You cannot spend this money. The whole point of the work optional lifestyle, so Everything Financial Group, we're home of the Omni Formula. It is our proprietary system. No one else has it. And it is designed to lead you to a work optional lifestyle. What a work optional lifestyle is, Shannon just hit on a second ago. It's retiring a little bit every year. Do a major trip in your 40s, every year, every 2 years. I mean, it depends on your kids, your finances, it's all different. But don't be afraid to design that in your plan, because maybe instead, everyone thinks we're about having you retire earlier. No. A lot of times it's better to work longer. It's healthier sometimes.
Yep.
But retire every year. So don't wait till you're, 68 to go climb Machu Picchu, because I was there in 2017. The people with walkers couldn't get up the stairs. We went flying by them on the stairs. And it's true. You do these things while you're younger, maybe work to be retired a little bit every year instead of working to retire. Because if you do nothing, life will pass you by.
Well, and a good example is my mom worked her whole life. She was very high up in what she did. When she retired, she got really into fitness, but she really, really wanted to travel. And it was always like the next year. I'm going to go the next year with my sister. We're going to travel to all these amazing places. She'd never gone anywhere other than Mexico once, right?
Yeah.
And in North America. And so it was something very important to her. But COVID hit and nobody could travel. And then unfortunately, a year into COVID, she passed away, not from COVID, but just, passed away unexpectedly. And all I could think of was that it was always going to be next year. It was always going to be next year. And she never got to travel because she put it off. And she could have financially done it.
Yeah.
She just thought later, right? So, she passed away at 76 and never
But she
got
was
to
a young.
Oh, she was
young 76.
Yeah.
She was lively.
Yeah.
I mean,
she was
Yeah, but that story is, so many clients have come, like the feedback we've gotten after we delivered the plan.
Yeah.
It's like we've given them permission
Yes.
to go and do these things because now they know they're going to be okay.
Yes.
right? So
Yeah.
it's huge.
Yeah, because $5,000-$10,000 for one year, is that really going to change your whole financial plan for retirement? That one, and that's just one trip. But I mean, one trip would have been like if my mom had gone to Europe, she never got a chance, right? And her passing was unexpected. We thought she was going to live forever. You never know.
No.
And if you have kids, you never get that time back with them, right? Like build the memories.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the whole key of our plan though, is guidance for people with a plan and putting the proper strategies in place to get them to do the things that they didn't think they were going to be able to do. Mm-hmm. That's really it.
Yeah.
Yep. Good way to put it.
So that's a wrap, people. Season 3 of the Your Money Personal Finance podcast. I'm not saying there's not going to be a season 4. There's always a new season, but we're getting so much feedback and we appreciate it between this, the radio shows we do, the television show we do every week, that we're getting so many questions. What we're going to do now, instead of waiting and doing a new season, it's always going to be a new season. So we're just going to start in the future doing episodes based on your questions, based on your feedback, based on the things you want to find out. And so go to wherever you see podcasts. You can go to YouTube, to the Everything Financial Group YouTube channel, and see current episodes. Watch for us on social media where we let you know when episodes are coming. And that's how we're going to do it going forward, is just keep doing those episodes and let you know what's there. So Shannon, thank you. 2 episodes this year. My gosh, wait till we see that going forward.
Finally got me out here.
Finally got you out here. Vitri's done about, probably 3 or 4, I think.
Something like
that. So, which has been great, which we love. So that's it. That's a wrap. Everythingfinancial.com. Email us. Go to YouTube. Reach out. Toll free, 1-888-424-4421. And we look forward to seeing you on future episodes, and send an email and we'll get back to you and answer your questions. Take care, everyone.